Hello everybody. Let's see if this will work. There we go. Alright, let's get this all set up. So welcome, and this is the networking question and answer. So one of the things we're going to be talking about, actually a loud clinking in the background. One of the things we're going to be talking about is your networking questions, as well as some of the things you can do that you might not have thought of in your community, and the ways you can network that maybe kind of hidden to you. So I'm going to kind of reveal some of those tips and secrets. So let's see who is coming on. If you have a question, or if you'd like to introduce yourself, just type it in the comments and I will get to see it. I'd love to see some of those comments. So one of the first things I'm going to talk about is the BNI groups. So you might have heard, if you've networked a little bit, that BNI is around. And also, can you tell me if I'm sideways or if I'm straight? I'm not sure if I'm like right side up or not. So we're going to talk about BNI in just a second. So if you're watching and you have ability to type in, just tell me if you can hear me, if I'm sideways, and oh, I'm right side up. Great. Okay, good. And if you can hear me, so I guess you can hear me because I've been saying that. Okay, so first thing we're going to talk about is BNI. And I had a question about this the other day, and they were asking me, is BNI worth it for my business? Well, that depends on your business. So I'm going to give my 2 cents on the matter, and you guys can make the decision, obviously, for your businesses. So BNI is Business Networkers International. They do have a website. They have a lot of chapters around the area, and certainly in Jacksonville, but also anywhere in the world. It's an international company. So what they do is they meet every single week, and you must show up every week if you're a member. So if you gotta get, I think you get like 2 weeks off that you can miss, and then if you miss more than 2 weeks, you could be suspended from the group. And also, if you miss more than 2 weeks, you could also find a sub. So we're going to talk about subs in just a few minutes. So Business Networkers International, it does cost about $500 per year, plus whatever the membership dues or fees are for that particular group. Some groups have a like a meeting room fee. They pay to be at the locations that they're in. So they have a meeting room fee, and you would have to pay part of that as being part of the group. So your dues could be upwards of $700 for the whole year. They usually do not provide any food. Excuse me. They do not provide any food. They don't provide. It's not a lunch or anything like that. It's usually early in the morning. Most BNIs are between like 7 and 9 o'clock in the morning. They start at 7 o'clock, so you have to be early riser to do those as well. Now, the people that they're really good for. So if you're a realtor, it's going to be very difficult to get in as a realtor because almost every single group has a realtor already. There's also a lawyer. There's multiple types of lawyers that can go into a BNI group. Another good one is pest control, roofers, anything having to do with homes, because when the realtor comes in, the realtor drives the group. So anything having to do with the home improvement sector, pool cleaners, people who do pavers, landscapers, that kind of stuff. Anything you think of that you would have people have come to your home, air conditioning guys, anything like that, plumbers. Another great person to be in a BNI is a computer repair person, website designer, somebody that has to do with B2B. So then you would get people in that group to work with you. You would also be like an SEO person or a social media person. Those are great people to be in those groups. Occasionally, good people in groups like that would be like personal trainers. So as a business person, if you own a home, and if you're a business person, you think of all the people that you use in your life. Those are the people that go into a BNI, and people you use on a regular basis. These can't be like one-off things. So the person who was asking me about this was actually a photographer, and she was asking me, well, would it be a good investment for me? And I said, I'm not really sure that would be, because her conditions, or the way that her business works is it's mostly one-of people. They come in to get their headshots done. They come in to get a portrait session with their family. They come in and they get, a special thing with their grandma, or, whatever. So it's kind of like one-of things for her, whereas website designers and computer repair people. Those are like multiple repetitions from the same person. So one of the things about BNI too is they require you to take their people that are in the group with you, so your fellow networkers, and you have basically all their business cards and multiples of them, and you network for them. So they have one-to-ones that you must do so many one-to-ones. Some groups have more, some groups have less. And you have to basically take all the people that are already in the group, and anytime you hear somebody say something about their pool, something about their roof, something about their realtor, something about selling their house, you need to recommend the person that's in your group that does that specific thing. The more referrals that you give these people in your group, the more you're liked. It's kind of a popularity contest. And the more that you will get out of the group, because if someone feels like you're referring to them, they're more likely to refer to you. So you really have to kind of do a lot of work to show your faith, in good faith, and your loyalty to the group by giving a lot of referrals, and then you will be able to receive some. So it's kind of the mentality of what they say, givers gain. If you give, then you will gain. Now in networking, that's an excellent philosophy. I love givers gain philosophy. However, I think that in some cases BNI takes it a little bit too far, but that's just my opinion. Another really great person that BNI is for would be the person who maybe has just left the corporate world, maybe who is looking for, their business is kind of slow, they're not really getting as many leads as they were, they don't really know where to find those leads, and maybe they're in one of those businesses I mentioned. It's a really great way to kind of jumpstart their business again, or if you're coming out of the corporate world and you're not really sure what to do with yourself, because that's kind of a scary thing to kind of come from someone telling you what to do all the time to now you have to make all the decisions and tell yourself what to do all the time. So this kind of is like a half step. So it's that half step between leaving corporate and coming into your own as an entrepreneur. So it kind of gives you that transition period is what I really like to see it as. And also people who maybe, some entrepreneurs are really, really disciplined and they can plan their day and get stuff done and everything's great. But there's other entrepreneurs that's not their strong suit. And so this group has so much structure that it really allows entrepreneurs who have that as kind of their fault or their shortcoming. This really, really helps that and gives you this kind of structure that I know other things don't. So if you're looking for structure, if you're looking for leads and you're in one of those groups that I mentioned, or you're in one of those industries that I mentioned, this is a great, great option for you, which is BNI. The only other thing I will say about BNI is, even though, and this has happened several times to several people that I've known, because I've never actually joined a BNI, even though you may not agree with, like, trust, really would use yourself, a certain person in your group, because you're part of that group and they are part of that group, you're obligated to refer to them. Some people don't. They will go outside and say, well, that realtor's not my favorite, or I don't like some of the practices they use, but my sister's a realtor and I'd rather refer to her. You can do that, but if they find out, it's kind of a no-no. It's kind of a black mark against you because it's really their philosophy is that you're in the group, you need to refer to the group that you're part of. So, they're doing work outside my house, so it's really loud to me. So anyway, that's part of BNI. Now, if you're not thinking about joining a BNI, or maybe you don't even care about BNI or whatever, maybe you have joined one in the past and it didn't work for you, whatever it may be, there are ways you can use BNI without actually joining BNI. And these are some of the dirty little secrets that nobody likes to tell, and you have to be very careful with them because they are kind of the hidden tips. So one of the tips is to be a sub. This is the really easy one. You don't have to worry about this one. This one's totally, legal. You can actually go and get to know all your friends and colleagues and other networkers that go to BNI. And usually, if you go to a meeting like for lunch or in the morning, you'll see they're still wearing their name tag. Usually they forget to take it off. So that's a really great way to spot them. Or if you know anyone who's in a BNI, then you want to tell them anytime you need me to sub for you, I'm there. Like, just tell them you are there for them. And the reason that you're going to tell them that you will sub for them is because if you sub, you get to speak more than a person who's actually a member. It's true. So when you go into sub, you get to stand up and read their 30 seconds. They'll probably give you something to read, or if you know a lot about their business, you could probably just, make it up. And you'll say, hi, my name is so-and-so, and I'm here for so-and-so, and then you'll read their 30 seconds, and then you'll sit down. That's when they go through the members. So they always go through the members first. The only person that gets to speak as much as you do is the officers. So there's like 4 or 5 people in the entire group. Some of these groups have like 40 people. So you'll get to speak for the person. You'll then get to stand up as a visitor and tell what you do. And then if that person is an officer on some kind of committee, whatever, you'll get to stand up again for that person and say your name, I'm here for so-and-so. So you can even throw your business name in there and then say, I'm here for so-and-so with such and such. And really when people are listening, the first thing they hear is the first few things you say. So they're gonna hear your name and your business like up to 3 times. Whereas normal members are just gonna get a one-time, hey, this is who I am, unless they said they're on a committee or something like that. So it's a really great way to get your business out there, to meet a lot of people. And if you sub for the same person a lot, then those people get to know you as well, and you don't have to pay any of the dues, you don't have to go every week, and they might even end up referring to you if there's no one in the group that does that. So my last tip about BNI, which is the kind of not legal one, it is legal, but you just have to be careful that you don't run into the regional directors too much, because they get on you about this. And that is, in the Jacksonville area, there are about 37 BNI groups. And that number grows and fluctuates as people start groups and groups close and things like that. You must have 17 members to start a BNI group. So you have to have 17 committed paid members. It's difficult to get to that number, but once you get to that number, then you're an official group. And if you go to the BNI website, you can see all the groups. You can also see them on networkandjacks.com. We have actually vetted a bunch of them and put the best ones on Network and Jacks on the calendar option. So when you go, you can actually visit twice before you have to pay. And they will give you their spiel, and you can say, oh, I'm thinking about it, or whatever you want to say, but you don't actually have to join. They are very hard sells at the end. I mean, they are going to pressure you like nobody's business. But if you're going to go and gather a ton of business cards, meet a ton of people, especially if you know people in the group already and your category is open, that's even better, because if your category is open, they really want you there. And if your category is open, that means no one in that group is doing that. But if you're there and you're like, hey, I'm thinking about it, then they're going to probably refer to you to try and get you to join the group, which means a referral for you. So it's kind of a roundabout way to get into a BNI without really being part of a BNI, but you can only visit twice. And a lot of these groups are 30, 40 people, up to 30, 40 people. So especially if you know people that are in them, it's just a lot of fun to do that, but you do have to be a little careful you don't run into the regional directors too much. All right, so I'm going to look through the questions here. Let's see what we have. Tina was saying it reminds her of a timeshare presentation when they take you to the, yes, BNI does kind of remind me of that. When they take you to the back or take you to a separate room and they're like, okay, this is how our group works, you should sign up. And that really does is kind of a timeshare thing. And I've been through many of those. Gotten a lot of really neat prizes for those, but they're very uncomfortable. So like I said, if you can kind of get past that uncomfortableness, then you'll definitely benefit from visiting BNIs. So does anybody have any questions about networking in the local area or just in general, maybe about your industry? I'm here to answer those questions. We got about 15 minutes left for this session that I'm going to do today. So if anybody has anything they'd like to ask, I'd certainly like to answer it for you. And if you're watching the video, you can definitely introduce yourself and ask a question. This is so weird. I haven't done a Facebook Live in a while, so it's fun and interesting all at the same time. So we're actually working on, while I'm waiting for some questions here, we're working on redesigning networkandjacks.com. I've almost got it finished. I have one page left. It's already out there. You can see it. You can see the half finished page, but it's a lot of work for me to redesign that website. However, I think it is so much more navigable, and it's just been a lot of fun for me to redesign it though, because it's taken a whole nother turn and we made it more modern, and there's so many more resources now. So Network and Jacks is a aggregate calendar that I created for Northeast Florida, and we also have a calendar that's all of Florida as well. So if you go on vacation, or if you're in another part of town on business or something, you can actually network while you're out of town. So it's $10 a month, and it's all the stuff is on there. It tells you all about it. We have a meeting room list, which I made up. People were trying to find meeting rooms, and I just made up a list because I knew where all these meeting rooms were, but none of them were kind of on a list where everybody could see it. So if you're part of the actual, calendar access, which is the regular memberships called the Jacksonville Networking Guide, you'll get that meeting room list. So it says, Emery says, are we becoming a BNI? So who would be we? Because I don't meet every week. I could never do that. That's way too much for me. That's too many meetings. So I don't know who we is, but not me. And if you have any questions about networking, or really anything about where you should network, what people you could connect with that might be beneficial for your business, anything like that, it would be good questions to ask. I can definitely give you some individual attention, because we only have 5 people on right now, which is a good thing. I thought there was only going to be 0, so I'm thrilled that there's actually 5 people on here. So if you're scrolling through the newsfeed and you see this video, I hope that you'll stop and ask a question. So I actually have a networking meeting to go to after I finish this, so just more networking. It's just, and actually one of the things I was thinking about the other day is that people don't realize that almost their entire lives are networking. And they don't think about it that way, but every interaction you have really comes down to networking. So what groups do you think are the best for people who are in direct sales or multi-level marketing? Also called network marketing. Perfect question. So I've been to so many groups, and I've actually run so many groups, and one of the things I found was that network marketing or direct sales was always kind of the redheaded stepchild mentality. Everyone thinks, oh my gosh, they're gonna hard sell me, and they kind of like almost immediately back away. And that is something that I tried to change in the groups that I ran. And that's been my mission the entire time, is to make all of Jacksonville's networking open and friendly, and just whatever you're selling, it doesn't matter. As long as you follow kind of the etiquette rules, then you're welcome. Like there's no problem. So the groups that I ran previously, which are all on the, most of them are on the All Access Pass through Network and Jacks, those groups have that philosophy, and I trained the leadership and the members to welcome and be open to direct sales. And so most of the groups that I've been to recently are pretty open to that. There's no one specific group that is like, oh, this is a direct sales kind of group, because the direct sales, there's so many different types of direct sales. So it depends on which industry you're in. If you have an industry specific, I can tell you specifically which group might be beneficial for that, or what type of people you should be connecting with when you go to a group, because sometimes you'll go to a group and it's just a bunch of random people, but there's actually 2 or 3 people there that you should be connecting with because they're in a certain industry that would be beneficial. But there's no one specific group for direct sales. And I actually had tried to start a group that was specifically for people in direct sales, talking about marketing and networking and things like that. And those groups have always been around on like Meetup and stuff like that, but they never really go anywhere. You'd think they would be super popular, but they never really get past, first couple of meetings. So with anybody, left. So those groups don't really exist. I mean, there's a couple, but they don't have any meetings, like they're on Meetup and stuff like that. But there's no one specific group. But I would say make sure that when you go to a group, you don't always have to say that it's direct sales. You don't always have to say that it's network marketing. I like to, no matter what industry you're in or what kind of business you're in, I like to be more vague, and I like to be more about the product, the benefit, and things like that. And I'm actually in the process of writing an ebook on your elevator pitch, which will basically help you eliminate that kind of preconceived fear or whatever, people going, oh my gosh, they're gonna try and hard sell me, which you're not. But you know, that kind of like initial fear. So it's gonna actually eliminate all that, because you're not even gonna tell them you're in direct sales. You're just gonna tell them, hey, I do this, and they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I want to know more. So your elevator pitch is really, really important. And I'm writing an ebook about it, and I'm also doing an e-course on it, which will be out this summer. Oh, Tina was just gonna ask me if I had started one. Yes, I did, and like I said, it didn't get past the first few meetings. We had like 2 or 3 meetings. The same 2 or 3 people came, and they were people that are already in my other groups, and so it was just another meeting for them to attend. So it really didn't have the draw that I thought it would. But this this group right here, Connect, Grow, Sell, which is on Facebook, this group I'm really hoping will be, I'll do more Facebook Live videos. I'm going to do probably like 1 a week, and really connect and do a different topic each time. And I'm going to post the topic ahead of time. Today I was kind of like, okay, what do I talk about? I just picked BNI. But I'm going to do some more, and I will probably focus on those things as people start asking questions. I'm going to pull questions from the group that you ask each other even, and then go over those in some of the Facebook Live videos. So I really want this online group to be a little bit more open for everyone, but also to answer some of the questions that you might have had if you were in a specifically direct sales group or things like that. So let's see here. Got a few more minutes, and if anybody has any more questions, I would love to answer. And this will be available on replay, so if you'd like to share it with anyone, you can add, you can have them add themselves to the group. And then I'll approve them, and they can go ahead and watch the video. And of course, we'll have other videos as well that will be coming out in the next couple weeks. And let's see. Yep, I have the Network and Jacks website should be finished later today. That'll be finished up. And then we're going to be working on connectgrowsell.com, which currently is nothing, so don't go there. And we're going to be making that into the e-course website, which is going to have an entire e-course on how to network no matter what industry you're in and no matter what kind of person you are. So a lot of people come to me and say, well, I'm not, I'm not outgoing, or I'm not a people person, things like that. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. I will teach you how to be effective in networking. Effective is different than good. So I'll teach you how to be effective at networking, no matter what kind of personality you are, no matter what industry you're in. And the first step is going to be when I release the free ebook for elevator pitch. It's going to tell you how to craft your elevator pitch so that it's formula. You don't have to sit there and think about, oh my gosh, what do I say? How do I put this together? How long should it be? It's going to be a really interesting, just succinct formula that you can follow to create a really intriguing and interesting elevator pitch. So, any other questions? Anybody have any questions? So does anybody have any topics that they would like me to cover at the next Facebook Live video? Also, you can ask questions in the, let's see here, you can ask questions in the group. And in the pinned post, I did put some hashtags. So you can do hashtag shout out and say, oh, I used so-and-so and they were great, for this, to help people find, people to connect with as far as different industries and different business to business things. Also, hashtag help, which is going to be, hey, I need help with finding such and such, or I need help with this. Hashtag event, if you're having a specific event, you'd like people to come to it. Hashtag beta, which is if you want some beta testers to test out something you're working on, or the 2 or 3 people that could really help you to vet a process that you're working on, something like that. And the other thing would be ISO. So ISO is when you're in search of something. So I'm in search of a plumber, or I'm in search of a group that does this, or I'm in search of a tablet for taking photos, or I don't know, whatever that may be. And then tech, hashtag tech, which is kind of the tablet thing, would fall under that. I'm looking for an online accounting software, or I'm looking for a place online to edit photos for free, or I'm looking for a way to do email marketing. So anything that has to do with tech, that's going to be in that side. So if you have any questions, you can always post them in the group. Also, if you have any questions, I have about 5 minutes left. I'll take a few more questions if anybody has any. And let's see, if you have any questions that are individual to you, I would be happy to answer those. Kind of a little taste of what my coaching is like. And I'll answer those specific for you, so maybe someone else in the group who's watching can also benefit from it as well. Maybe they watch it later on. And we got about 4 more minutes, and then I'll be signing off. So I'm so glad that you guys were here and that you were part of this group, and I hope that you will use the pin post and use those hashtags to kind of navigate the group and meet more people. If you haven't already introduced yourself, I would love for you to introduce yourself in the group so that everyone can get to know you and know what you do. I'm in the group about once or twice a day, so I don't always see everything immediately, but I do read everything and try to comment on things that are happening. So if you have any questions for me, you can always private message me as well. You can email me, and we can definitely talk. So I'm so glad that you guys were here. And if you have anyone, like I said, that would be interested in this group or that would benefit from it, please do send them over, have them join, and we can get them connected to the group. And please do check out Networking Jacks. I'm going to be launching it officially probably tomorrow once I finish up those last couple pages and little kinks. And you'll get an email probably if you're on my email list. And I'll post a link also in this group as well when it's finished up. But it's really gorgeous, it's beautiful, and I hope that you guys will take advantage of some of the things that are on there that will really kind of give you a boost in your networking. So I'm going to actually sign off now. I haven't gotten any questions, so I'm going to sign off. But I thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that you'll tune in for the next one, and I'm going to pick a question from the group to talk about in my next video. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys later.